Is it possible that Trump is actually doesn't want a deal and is deliberately kind of sabotaging the negotiations because he really wants to end up toppling the regime? And I'm saying this because he sent Vance, and the original 15-point plan had like a 20-year sunset clause. And then when it looked like they might agree to that, suddenly he tells the media, oh no, I don't want a 20-year sunset clause. They can never have a nuclear weapon. And now he's posting this video being like, I want to save the Iranian people. So I'm like, is he actually just using the negotiations to show the regime supporters, hey, look, Aragachi and Galibov, they will betray you and talk to me, while also trying to just set this up so that he can completely topple the regime? I mean, I feel like this is way out there, but it could be some crazy 26-dimensional chess to try to weaken the regime.
So here's the thing. What you're saying is very possible. It's not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure that that's what's happening, but it's very possible. And if that is what is happening, then all these people who are claiming that this is some 5D chess stuff, they have been right. If that's what's happening, like if that's what's happening, and another evidence for what you're saying is the fact that the Islamic Republic opened the Strait of Hormuz, and it seems like they expected the blockade to stop because of it. And then President Trump came out and said, I'm not going to stop the blockade on the Iranian ports, right? So that is also suggests that he was just messing with them, right? Maybe if that is what's happening, it's really clever and it's working. But here's the thing: if that is not the plan, it's still working. Like it's working in the it's working in the same way as if it was the plan. So the most genius thing to do is to basically keep switching between tactics and making sure the regime is basically, because if you just focus on military, then they will ideologically not be hurt. But if you do military and then you take a break and you negotiate with them, then you're hurting them ideologically and thinking, well, at least he's not going to attack. Well, if I have already hit you, like from an ideological strength, from a unity strength, I've already hurt you enough by demonstrating that you're willing to submit, then I've already achieved everything I want from here. So now I'm going to go back to military. I don't need to weaken you anymore with negotiations because you've already hurt yourself. You already exposed yourself. So now I could go back to the blockade and the military operations. If this is what's happening, it's genius. But I don't know if that's actually, it's very. The answer is yes, it's very possible. What do you like? How possible do you think it is?
Well, originally I was like, this is under 10%, but now that everybody, including you, is saying this seems kind of reasonable, I don't know, maybe more like 40 or 50%. I think the real question in my mind is, does Trump really want to actually topple the regime, or does he just want to weaken it and let it fall on its own in the next couple of years? And how far
Right.
is he willing to go in order to do that? The other interesting thing is that you remember in that conference, he said that he doesn't have to appease anyone. So maybe what he was really saying is like he can just say things to manipulate his opponents and doesn't have to worry about like appeasing anybody. I don't know. I really
Yeah.
have no idea what's going on. It's very hard to read Trump.
Well, yeah, it's hard to read Trump, but it's not really hard to read the Islamic Republic right now, the regime supporters, and whatever the plan was, the level of infighting and internal conflict and civil war that all of this negotiation and peace talks and ceasefire has caused is none of the missiles, none of the drones, none of the nothing, none of like destroying the entire navy did not divide them, destroying the entire air force did not divide them, threatening to destroy the infrastructure did not divide them, killing Ali Khamenei did not divide them. What ended up dividing them is meeting with them. Right, so the, it's like it's beautiful. It's like amazing. Like you have no idea. These days, I'm just what I'm like. My favorite thing to do is just read the comments of regime supporters, and this has weakened them in a way that nothing else has.
Shauna wants to respond.
I wanted to point out that I think that Trump
this is my opinion, but I think Trump always operates from he has a primary goal and then he doesn't care how he reaches that goal. So I think his goal is to ensure literally that they cannot have any kind of nuclear weapon. And if he is convinced by his aides or whatever that the only way to do that is the total destruction, then he will do the total destruction. So it might not be 4D chess, it might just be his aides or the people that he trusts convincing him, look, if your goal is A, i.e., no nuclear weapons forever until the end of time, then the only way to do that is B, which is the destruction. Like, I think that's really much more where it is, which is why I think a lot of times it looks like 4D chess, and a lot of it's more just, I have a bunch of different options, but here's my goal, and I'm gonna see which option works. Anyway, the end.
And but here's the thing though, it actually works the other way around as well. So you might he might think that the only way to make sure that the Islamic Republic doesn't get nuclear is completely destroying them. But the thing that is that even if you don't destroy them, making them if there was another way, like if you could get them to just give up their nuclear ambitions themselves, that would also destroy them. So either denuclearization through destruction or destruction through denuclearization. Because if you don't destroy them and you somehow manage to get them to give up their nuclear ambitions, that would mean that they would lose all their credibility among regime supporters, which will eventually basically topple them.
Okay. Ali is
Right there.
next.
Oh boy. While we were talking, something huge happened.
Ooh.
I'm gonna share my screen here. And by huge, I mean huge. Okay. President Trump just posted this, about 30 minutes ago. Today, an Iranian flagged cargo ship named Touska, nearly 900 feet long and weighing almost as much as an aircraft carrier, tried to get past our naval blockade, and it did not go well for them. The U.S. Navy guided missile destroyer USS Sprance intercepted the Touska in the Gulf of Oman and gave them fair warning to stop. The Iranian crew refused to listen, so our Navy ship stopped them right in their tracks by blowing a hole in the engine room. Right now, U.S. Marines have custody of the vessel. The Touska is under U.S. Treasury sanctions because of the prior history of illegal activity. We have full custody of the ship, and we are seeing what's on board. So this ship took off from the port of Chabahar, which is on the southern coast of Iran. You can see this right here. And it was heading to China because it was going to pass through
Malacca.
Southeast Asia. Yeah.
The Malacca
And
Strait.
it tried to turn around when it saw the US ships. It's like, oh shit. And yeah, I guess it just got hit. The Iranian state media claimed that they took, like, the tanker was going, and then the US gave warning to stop, and this IRGC Navy came out in full force, and the US battleships had to back off. Obviously, that's not the case. So that's huge news. I don't know why they didn't stop, or if they did try to stop, they were boarded and taken anyway. So that ship was headed to China. That's the big significance, is that China so far has been silent about the blockade, except when it came to their own oil Chinese ships getting to China. So now that this is taken, we're going to hear China come out and say something.
Wait, can you send me that link to that? Yeah, this one. Yeah,
I'll
can you
put
put
it
that
in
in the
chat right now.
chat? You're sure it's this one, right?
Yeah. This is the current news that we have. We have other ones that have been coming out. This is the most complete picture that I've been able to find right now. So going on from the biggest news to the other, yesterday, a ton of regime speedboats decided to go out into the Strait of Hormuz, and they pretty much, like, this is what they look like from satellite imagery. And they decided to go and, we think, lay mines, because we're not sure exactly what they were doing. And this is pretty much around the actual minefield that they claimed, which gets me thinking that they are really trying to force people, because we had a cruise ship go through. And then apparently a couple other cruise ships followed that initial cruise ship, and they hugged the southern coast of the strait and they left. So I think these speedboats came out, dropped some mines to force the ships to adopt the regime's, like, passageways that they have cleared. To counter that, we hear reports that the U.S. Navy has deployed underwater drones. We don't know if they're going to go and take out the drones, but they're at least going to figure out where these drones are. So that's what's been happening in the last 24 hours. In addition to that, we have this statement by Mr. Gharibaf and the parliament, which says that the tolls will now be paid in real for some reason. Don't know why. And
Wait,
then
what the
last,
hell? Who's going to be able to find that much reals from where?
I don't know. I guess they're gonna print them. I have no idea. They're gonna print them, hand them
No,
out, and
like
pay
the
them back.
ships have to pay it. Where are
Yeah,
they
it
going
makes
to
no
like?
sense.
Yeah, okay.
Makes no sense. And then lastly, this is just like a video
Oh,
that
so wait, somebody in the chat saying Hila saying, "What is a real? Real is the currency of this of Iran." Yeah.
No, I know, but
Okay.
what are they paying in real?
the toll
The
to get through
tolls.
the
The
strait.
tolls.
This is another video. This is basically someone on the state media coming out and saying, "Look, the Americans have no idea about the surprises that we have in store for them. We're going to close the Strait of Hormuz. We're going to close the Bab el Mandeb from the Houthis, and they're going to have nothing to do." And it's just 2 minutes of this guy going off and
What?
being like, "The Americans are
They're
screwed." And
gonna.
this is all in Farsi. If you want the video, I can get it to you too.
Yeah.
So to answer your question before about the carriers, we know that one carrier is going around Africa, so it's probably somewhere around here, like closer to South Africa. And then we know that the Gerald Ford, they went to Greece to get repairs during the beginning of the ceasefire, and then they headed back through the Suez Canal, and that they're somewhere currently over here, which is Houthi territory. So the Houthis are here, guys. This is the Bab el Mandeb, and if they close this off, then you have most of the cargo ships that pass through the world just being halted. So I think that's why the Ford is passing through here, is to make sure that the Houthis can't do anything. And once it's completed its objective, it's going to come back, sit with the Abraham Lincoln, and they're going to resume attacks. We hear a lot of unverified reports in the last couple of hours that there are airstrikes being conducted in Yemen along the coast. They're unverified. I don't know if the Ford is acting yet or not, but yeah, that's just a general overview, and that's all happened just now. So
I have a question. So my understanding was that maybe it's wrong, but that the USS George H.W. Bush airstrike carrier group was going all the way from south of Africa instead of going through the Mediterranean Sea, Suez Canal, the Red Sea, and the Bab el Mandeb. And I thought they might like they're going the longer route to avoid the Houthis.
yeah,
But now we're saying General Ford going that path. So what is happening? Why are they? So why is the USS Bush went the long way then? If that's an option.
I don't know. I only have verified info that they want to go around, that they're going around Africa, but they're keeping a tight lid on that. There's no reports. There's nothing I could. There was nothing I could find on it. I don't know why.
Mm.
Oh, and then lastly, Trump cleared his entire day today, and there's a press like blackout that happened a couple hours ago. So he's probably in the situation room, and it seems like his plan is, or like the analysts in Washington are saying, is that they're going to send JD and Witkoff and Jared Kushner to Pakistan, and if the talks go well, and if there's a real deal to be made, then Trump himself is going to go.
No way.
That's
where do you see him?
unverified, but
Okay.
that's what people are saying.
He did show. So I did see him himself confirming that he would be interested in going to Pakistan. That would be, by the way, when it comes to, but that would be devastating from for the Islamic Republic internally when it comes to their internal politics. If the Islamic Republic meets with President Trump, they're basically shaking the hands of directly the person who is responsible for killing Qasem Soleimani and now also Ali Khamenei. Like that is a really hard sell internally. It's going to devastate. It's going to completely destroy their propaganda internally. Love to see it though. Do you have any links confirming the media blackout with President Trump taking the whole day off?
Yeah, I'll take a look for that, and then I'll send them in the chat. We can move on.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you.
okay.
Great info.
Noah,
Ali, I just want to thank Ali before we move on, because Ali, you always come up with such amazing information. Thank you. All right.
okay. Noah and Sketch wanted to respond, so in that order, please.
So there, I was about to say something, and then when you said there was a press blackout, my mind went blank. So you can go ahead and skip me. Sorry.
I was going to say, remember they got a ship around Malacca, right? If that ship wanted to go in a different direction or other ships wanted to go through Africa, there was another ship going through Africa. It's tightening the noose. It's grabbing all the spots. Anybody that was trying to escape around South of Africa was going to go head to head with a carrier. So there's really no escape. You got people in the Strait. You got people in Malacca. You got people south of Africa. So any ship, remember he said very clearly, no matter where you are on Earth, I will go get your ship and I will take your ship. And I said ship with a P, but he will go get your ship, right? So that's why you're seeing them like close the net from all around. Otherwise then you just drop them both from the top. That's one thing I wanted to clarify on why they're doing Real. Like I told you before, there's different levels. They're also closing in on any banks. Remember earlier they had said like last week they were saying no, you're gonna have to pay the toll in RMB, in yuan, in Chinese money. But now the White House sent warnings. The DOJ sent warnings to any banks. They sent a warning to the HSBC bank. They sent warning to all these banks. Hey, if you're banking with Iran, you're gonna have trouble. That's why they're doing the deals in Real, because no other bank is gonna want that problem with USA.